You have a brand new chart that you included, this order book visual. I've never seen this before, so you're gonna have to explain to us what exactly is going on here, because it looks beautiful, but maybe confusing both to me and to other people.
Yeah, totally. So this chart actually isn't the order book stuff. I think I've thrown the order book charts in there before. I use Trading Light for that. But I talked about order books because it kind of relates to the bottom section. So to start off with what I was saying about order books, you see a pretty strong confluence of bids right across 60K across several major exchanges. But as we've talked about before, these orders can be spoofs. And so basically, like, you can use these big bid or ask walls to generate liquidity for the opposite. Let's say, I like to use examples to explain things. Let's say, you think price is going to go higher, but price is starting to run away from you. And you're this huge whale where you can set a giant ask wall. It's essentially this sell wall, and you can kind of cap off the price, right? And no retail guy is going to want to sell into that because it's a huge order. And so what they're actually doing is they can use that to actually fill buys on the other end of that, because they're generating liquidity right below their ask wall in that case. Or conversely, let's say the market's starting to go down and they want to get out of their position, but they can't start market selling because they'll incur a lot of slippage and price will just start running away from them. What they can do is they can set a massive bid wall, and they can actually be filling sells as they're generating liquidity, because retail doesn't want to sell into that giant wall of buys, right? And so they can use these things to kind of maneuver in and out of positions. It's not as straightforward as, oh, you see a large bid, so that means that it's automatically bullish, and there's like a huge wall of bull whales sitting there waiting to scoop up coins. It's a bit more nuanced than that. But with that being said, I do think, like, a lot of traders are seeing these bids in confluence with 60K just being a really strong level. Like Suzu was joking around saying, like, the great wall of 60K. I think over the last week or so, you've seen that hold up as a pretty strong level. And keep in mind, we're just ranging, the last couple of days. But that 60K level, when you look, and this gets to this chart is looking at all the liquidation levels. So we can see, let's say price gets below X number. Well, there's a lot of liquidations there, right? And so what you see, and I kind of highlighted this in this little black box, is all those pink lines are showing you there's a lot of long liquidations, and particularly people who are 25x long, and in that little cluster there, and that's right below 60K. And so what I'm trying to say here, and I know I kind of sound like I'm saying, well, price could go up or down, right? And first of all, I don't have a very strong opinion about the price in the short term, other than we're probably going to get a large move because we talked about, the volatility squeeze. But with that being said, if we do get below 60K with volume, if we see a high volume breakout, then I think you'll probably start to see these long liquidations, you'll start to see like a cascade of longs get liquidated, because you can see all those levels set just below 60K in that chart there. So this is something that I've started looking at recently, but have never thrown in the newsletter before. But I look at it in confluence with funding. And then also, like, we've talked about the convexity that coin margin to open interest has. I look at it in confluence with that. So, theoretical bear case would be like an enormous amount of liquidations under a certain price level. You're seeing funding rising as price keeps going down, and they're all coin margined open interest, coin margin contracts that are being opened. And you can see that in open interest. Like, that would be like a theoretical, bearish scenario. But just another thing to use in confluence with some of those other metrics.